Early morning, time to rise, no sleep. Radio's humming with the funky beat. Sun is shining, Rachel brings the heat. Wake up, CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go. Rachel L. Gary on the radio. Tune in quick, hear the power flow. Wake up, CEO, it's your daily show. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. From the Windy City, bringing major vibes. Rachel on the mic, keeping lives. Early morning, time to rise, no sleep. Radio's humming with the funky beat. Sun is shining, Rachel brings the heat. Wake up, CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go. Rachel L. Gary on the radio. Tune in quick, hear the power flow. Wake up, CEO, it's your daily show. Wake up, start the day with CEO. Rachel's got the vibe, that's the real deal. CEO, it's time to feel the thrill. Morning grind, press play and chill. From the Windy City, bringing major vibes. Rachel on the mic, keeping lives. Early morning.
Welcome to Wake Up CEO. I am Rachel L. Gary, and this is your 2-hour power-packed wake-up call to step into your full potential. My mission is simple, guys. I'm going to speak candid truth to empower your inner CEO. And that's that one that is clearing your actions, empowered by your choices, and owning your direction. And today, we're going to talk about how to capture your best selfie. And we're going to talk first. My question of the day is, do you consider yourself selfless or selfish? So I want you to think about that for a second. CEOs, are you a selfish person? And once you come to the conclusion that you're selfish, what makes you selfish? And if you're selfless, what makes you selfless? So we want to make sure that we're bringing all of that in when we're deciding how to capture our best selfie. So I want you guys to stay tuned for the power statement of the day. The Author's Corner, brought to you by Distinguished Authors Guild, where your literary excellence is rewarded. And last, that leadership 3-point play, powered by Say I'm Possible Academy, where self-leadership gets GPS. And listen, we're going to dive right on into your power statement of the day. Your best self is waiting on who? You. So the best selfie, it isn't about the angles, guys, or the filters. It's about seeing yourself clearly and standing confident in your power. That's what selfies we're going to talk about today. Are you seeing yourself in clear light? Are you attuned with who you are? And if not, we're going to drop in and find out Why? So for the people who are watching this live, please drop in the chat if you are selfish or selfless. Let me know what your thoughts are, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're diving into, hey, why you believe either one. And we want to make sure that we're empowering ourselves to be more self-assured. And the biggest thing is about, let's get to seeing ourselves with clarity and not seeing ourselves from the perspective of past experiences, about past people, and about a past life. So we want to make sure that we're clear and where we're going, and clear on how we're moving forward. That's what it's really about. Having that clarity in us, clarity in the person that we are, and content with the person that we've become. So we'll start by saying about the clarity piece. Are you living old paradigms that were given to you by other people? We talked a little bit about that last week, but this week we're going to dive into dissecting why clarity is so important for you to be the best CEO of your life. So the clarity piece, when you look yourself in the mirror, that is your outer self that you're seeing. So you know that mirror image that we look at. So we look at that mirror image and we're just seeing ourselves. But when you close your eyes and you're thinking to yourself about you, that's the clarity piece that we're talking about. So before we go get our hair done, before we get lined up, before we put on our fresh clothes and our new shoes, who are we really? That's what we want to be clear with. We want to be clear with that person and the projection of that person to the world. And the real reality check is, if your self-image is blurry, so is your direction. So that's why we're talking about the clarity piece. How to get clear so your direction can be clear. And last week we talked a little bit about giving yourself instructions and making sure the instructions that you give are aligned with the clear direction of the person that you want to become. So when we're looking at it, when we're laying down at night, so we're going to bypass the mirror image, because the mirror image is only projecting that outer form. So we're going to talk to the inner CEO and find out, what is it that we see or have been through in our lives that have us projecting ourselves in any way that's either in a positive light or in a negative light. But all of that deals with the person that you are internally. So that's why we talked a little bit about being selfish or selfless. So for anyone who chose being selfless or selfish, either way, it deals with the person that you are, the self. And as you're having those moments with yourself, and when you're thinking about being selfless, that means that you're putting other things before you. And when you're being selfish, it depends on how you're thinking of that. Are you thinking that you're putting your needs first, your desires first, your goals first? Take a moment. What does selfish mean to you? Because I know we've been told since we were kids not to be selfish. It's something that's been embedded in us for years. But being selfish allows you to grow and develop you. That's what it starts. It helps you do. And you're gonna hear me talk about that every show, about you developing you, because that's what this is all about. I'm not talking to the friends that are around unless the friends are identifying themselves in the conversation. I'm not talking about the people who are naysayers or who are rooting for you, because the first person that got a hurrah, the first person that got to be clapping you up, it's got to be you. You got to be clapping you up. So we're gonna start with developing and having those moments and getting clear on who we are, getting comfortable with who we are. That's what clarity is about. Being comfortable in the skin you're in, being comfortable in the mindset you have, and being comfortable in the life you lead. Because all of that plays a part in you growing and developing. There's no growth without self-revelation. There's no more money. There's no more cars. There's no more houses. There's no more anything without you developing you. Because you could have more money, more cars, more houses, and still feel that you are not complete. So that's why we're talking about clarity, because you got to be clear in who you are. You got to be clear in what you want. And the only way to do that is understanding the limiting beliefs that have shaped us into whom we are today. That's where we at. We're having those conversations about where and who you are. Really. So we want to make sure that when we're taking that selfie, that we're taking that internal selfie, that internal selfie, that deep thought that you have about you. Do you think that you are a good person? Do you think that you are a bad person? And what does that really mean? Because good and bad is relative to you. It's relative to the space you're in. It's relative to the thought processes that you have. And to rectify that, those thought processes that have us deeming ourselves good or bad, because either way, that's us judging. We don't want to judge ourselves negatively or positively. We want to judge ourselves in our full on-blown self, who we are, really. Who are we grasping? Who are we talking with? Because our first conversations are with ourselves. Before you talk to a friend, before you talk to your spouse, before you talk to your partner, before you go hang out, the first person you discuss what you're going to wear, what you're going to put, or what you're going to smell like, how you're going to get your hair done, how you're going to get your suit pressed. All of that first conversation comes from you talking to you. So if you're having a discussion with yourself first, then that means you got to get in line with yourself. You got to be down to earth with you. So we're gonna jump into a little some music that allows us to start feeling our inner selves. And then we're gonna come right back and we're gonna finish this conversation about being clear. So who we got up first? We got Loving Me by Valentina. And I want you guys to internalize these words, because these words reflect who you are. So let's just jump into Loving Me.
Let's get spiritual. I've learned so much about loving myself. I just feel like self-love is the most important thing you should have for yourself. It's love. It's the best love. It's the best love. The most love you get from yourself. Self-love. It's the best love. The most love you get from yourself. Self-love. It's the best love. People see your problems, God see potential. Believe in yourself because you're special. Don't love yourself enough, and that's the issue. You're unique, born red like my shit. Stop saying that you wish, step into your will. Powered by your love, loving is a skill. Opportunities to grow all around. Your royalty and your love is your crown. Give thanks, pray first. Meditate, love starts in your head first. What you think, do your head work. Focus on living, not the dead dirt. You may have periods of stress.
I'm hoping that you guys saw those moments where, I mean, heard those moments of about loving you, loving yourself in the process of everything that's going on, because that's the most important thing, to make sure that you are loving you. So y'all gotta let me know about that clarity piece. So before we jumped into Loving Me by Valentina and Self Love by Chase Miracles, I just want to know which, if you guys can give me a little bit of what were you thinking when you thought about the clarity piece of loving yourself and loving everything in the overflow of you. So that's what we're talking about. We gotta make sure that we're loving everything in the overflow of ourselves, so we can be able to grow and develop and be able to have that clarity piece that allows us to walk forward in our purpose, walk forward in our greatness, and walk forward being the CEO of our lives. So right now we're going to talk a little bit about when you have that clarity. So once you realize that you have found your purpose, you are aligned with the true you, and you have that, instead of selfless or selfish thought process, you have decided that you are going to be self-assured. You're going to be assured that you are the person who is equipped with the tools needed to run your life like the boardroom of being that CEO. So that means that you know what's next, or you know what you are setting up for next, because you're not going to know what's coming your way. That's an impossibility. You're going to know what destination that you want to get to, but there are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be things that obstacles. There are going to be diversions. There's going to be all kinds of things that are going to try to take you off your path. But at the end of the day, if this path is for you, if the path that you're on is the one for you, no one can deter you from it. There is no deterrence from the direct path of your destined destination. So at the end of the day, you're just determining which path you want to walk on, and if you're ready to take on those obstacles. And when you're clear in your actions, that's when you already know that, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is why you're doing it. You have established that this is it. I'm walking in my purpose. Now let's get to that empowerment piece. How you are keeping yourself positive every day, and how are you keeping yourself aligned with the message that you have programmed yourself with. Because you've given yourself instructions about the path in which you walk. That's the clarity. Now we're getting to the point of where we're empowering ourselves to walk that path. So what do we do while we're empowering ourselves? What things do you need to do? Start with the positivity. I am inspirational for a reason, because positivity emanates from you. It emanates from you in a room. It emanates from you in your conversation. I was just listening to, on my way into the studio today, I was listening to a little clipping where someone just said about being positive with you, have a positive conversation once a day. That conversation of positivity will emanate through your entire day. It keeps you in alignment with your clarity. It stops anyone from diverting you from your path, because you're so clear on what you want to do that the positivity in your life breaks down those roadblocks, because now you're ready to take on those things. The positive energy that you have in your life, it allows you to be ready when something negative happens. And when we said positive and negative, once again, is really relative, because every situation can be positive or negative depending on your thought process, your mindset. And that's what we're talking about to the CEOs. The empowerment piece of how to develop your mindset in a way that things don't stop you, things don't stifle you. There are roadblocks that you're jumping over. They're just hurdles. Instead of being a speed bump, instead of them being a roadblock, you become a speed bump. And a speed bump, you just slow down and gently roll over. A roadblock, you can go around. Now, see, both of those situations I made them both positive for me. Either I'm going around it or I am slowly moving over it. And that's about when you get the clarity and get the understanding of how you and what you and where you want to go. And that's what it's about. So chime in. Let me know about how, if you're the ones who are watching live, thank you guys for watching me live. The ones watching live, let me know. The question of the day is about, are you selfish or selfless? And if you either one, why? So that we're just digging down to what you think. Because it doesn't matter what I think and what your friends think. At the end of the day, it matters what you think and what you internalize when you go to sleep at night. Because remember, when you close your eyes, who's there? It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about the person laying next to you or the person in the other room. When you close your eyes, you're going to sleep with internal thoughts that you're thinking alone. Those are your thoughts, your desires, your goals, your dreams. Because remember, nightmares are just dreams. We have the ability to change those dreams. So how many times have you guys went to sleep and you had a nightmare? And what did you, and you wake up and you're sweating, you're baffled by why this happened. The first thing you do, most people do, they take a moment before they go back to sleep. And you're taking that moment so you don't go back into the same nightmare. But who's controlling the nightmares or the dreams is a dream. And most of those dreams, those thoughts, those are things that you've been thinking all day long. Some of those nightmares are manifested in your dreams as from things that you've been thinking about, like if you don't like your job, if you don't like the person that you're with, if you don't like how your kids are acting, if you don't like how your friends are acting, if you don't like things around you, those are nightmares that you're manifesting into your dreams. They're your dreams, guys. They're your dreams. These are your moments. So if these are your moments and these are your dreams, I mean, I just want to say at the end of the day, if these are your dreams, your moments, I just want to know at the end of the day, are we deciding that we're going to allow those dreams to take over? Are we going to allow those nightmares to take over our external life? Absolutely not. This is where we are empowered to make a change, make a difference, and start aligning with you moving forward on your desires, your dreams, turning those nightmare situations around. So I'm not going to talk about things on Wake Up CEO that are just theories. We're going to talk about action, because I'm going to be honest, guys, there is no change. There is no hopes without action. So I'm going to give you an action statement. If you want to make a change, take a moment and determine what that change is. Be clear. When you're actually starting to move along that path towards those things, prepare yourself tell yourself something can happen. I can possibly fail. But you don't want to tell yourself that, because what you're going to say to yourself is, I am easily aligned to move forward through anything that comes my way, because I am in my own purpose. If you're telling yourself that positive thing, because the second day you tell yourself that, hey, I could fail, your mind does not think about you don't want to fail. It's following the instructions in which you're giving it. And you saying you don't want to fail is just like you telling your mind that you want to fail. So you don't want to bring things into your mind, your thoughts, that you don't want to see in your life. So if you're saying that, hey, I don't want any more dusty relationships. I don't want anyone else who just wants to DM me. I don't want anyone talking to me at 2:30 in the morning talking about, can they slide through? Or I don't want to be the person who just sliding up on somebody. How do you combat that? You tell yourself, I am looking for the perfect relationship that is aligned with the perfect person that I am. So you're not giving any power to the things you don't want. That's what I'm talking about, that clarity and instruction, guys. The clarity and instruction comes from you giving yourself clear messages. So what you don't want, don't talk about. I want y'all to think about that. What you don't want, don't talk about. So if you want success, only talk about success. If the job that you're in is not the job of your dreams, what does your dream job look like? So we got to get clear. So this is about taking that perfect selfie, because you're getting that perfect alignment of what you want. We're not worried about what we don't want, because what we don't want doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what you don't want. It only matters what you want. And we're going to only focus on what we want. So the focus piece, when you're telling yourself the instructions of, hey, I want to go on a cruise. So my spouse and I, we want to go on a cruise, a 275-day cruise in 2026 to 2027. So I align myself with the cruise. I looked up the cruise, looked up the details, understood how much we need to have, understand where we need to be, and I'm only focused on what I need to do to get there. I'm not concerned about the roadblocks. I'm not concerned about, is it too much money? I'm not concerned about, is it too much time? Because if I'm concerning myself with those things, those are the things that are going to keep coming into my mind. Those are roadblocks. Why? I'm not giving myself the instructions of the roadblocks. I'm giving myself the instructions of, I'm going on a cruise in 2026 that ends in the end of 2020 in September 2027. That is the instructions I'm giving myself. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm on a cruise in December 2026. I'm not concerned about any roadblocks. I'm not concerned about, am I financially aligned with that? When I tell myself this is my affirmation, guys. And the affirmations is nothing but instructions that you're giving yourself to live by on an everyday basis. My affirmations are as such. I live a life of abundance. Money flows to me easily. I have what I need readily and can travel at will. That's period. That's period. Not in that statement, nowhere in that statement did I say anything about the things I don't want or the things that I need to have. Because if you tell yourself you need to have them, this is empowerment. Once you say, I need to have them, you're telling yourself you don't have them today. So your bank account could be at zero. Let's say your bank account's at zero. Or some of us, our bank accounts are at negative. I've been there, guys. I've had those negative balances, or have those hope and prayers that the check doesn't come in today because I don't want it to bounce. Can it wait till Friday when I actually get paid? Where you're sitting on your knees praying that, man, I wrote that check. I know I swiped my card. I knew that I didn't have it in the bank, but I'm hoping that it get there. Or I hope that they hold it for 2 more days because I know when my money's coming in. Because you know when your money's coming in, it goes to just like the things that you want out of life. You have to call those things into existence. They don't just happen. That's not how it works. You have to say, I want A, B, and C. You said you wanted it. Now call it into existence. I have A, B, and C. You don't say by when, how you're going to get it. You're not concerning yourself with all of those things, because all of those things are roadblocks. All of those things, they train yourself. Remember, we're empowering ourselves. To empower ourselves, we're going to talk that talk. We're going to talk that talk of positivity. We're going to talk that talk of bringing it into existence. We're going to talk that aligns with us getting what we need and want out of life. Now, that being said, it's going to be moments. I promise you, it's going to be moments that you're going to say, I want that car. I want that house. But instead of saying, I want that house, how about I want a house that fulfills my needs of A, B, and C? Or I have that house that fulfills my needs A, B, C. Now, you might not get the house that you were thinking of, but you might most definitely will get the house that was aligned with your purpose, with your life. So you'll get that. So let's say you want a 3-bed, 3-bath house with a jacuzzi tub, and you want it to have a enclosed spa. You want all of this in your house. But you call that into existence. I want a 3-bed. I have a 3-bedroom house with 3 baths, with a jacuzzi tub, with a indoor spa. But you go on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and spend all your money on something that is totally different than what we're talking about. You're not going into any home buyers workshops. You're not doing any of those things. So you're calling something into existence, but you're doing something different. That's the misalignment. That's once again where we're not clear. So that's why we're talking about clarity and empowerment first. Because if you're not clear on, okay, you say to yourself, okay, I want a new house. Okay. You write it down. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-bath house with a sauna. Boom. You write that down. You're speaking that. Then you're going to home buyers workshops. You're talking to people who have those type of properties. You're aligning yourself with realtors who have luxury apartments or luxury housing that they sell or rent. And you're discussing with your friends, oh man, when I get, when I in this house, I'm gonna have these trees. I'm gonna have these bushes outside, and that's all you're talking about on an everyday basis. How much closer do you think you're gonna get to what you want? Because that's all you're talking about, and that's all you're focused on. That's the only thing that you're discussing. It's the only rooms that you're in. Let me tell you guys a quick story about something that happened to me. This is 3 years ago. My spouse and I were sitting down and said we wanted to buy apartment buildings. So when we sat down and said we wanted to buy apartment buildings, we took a workshop. Now, at the point in time, we didn't know how we were going to buy the apartment buildings, because when you hear about apartment buildings, you're thinking that you need millions of dollars to get your apartment building. Now, I'm telling you what my thoughts were, and then I'm going to tell you what my actions were. So my thoughts were that I need $1 million to buy a building, that I need my credit to be in the 800s, that I need, I'm going to need some co-signing. I got a whole, I'm going to need to be making, I'm going to be needing to make $500,000 to be able to afford this. That was my thoughts. Now, when I wrote down on my pad that I said I will have 2 buildings in 2023. Now, I'm going to tell you, not only did I say it, I called someone on the phone. It was a contractor who did projects, who did rehabs. I called her on the phone and said, I'm going to have 2 buildings for you to work on next year. Be ready. This is in 2022. We're in 2025. That's 3 years ago. So in 2022, I called on the phone. She's going to have 2 buildings. You're going to have 2 buildings that you're going to need to work on next year. So let me get in your workshop so I can start hearing more about how rehabs work. Get in the workshop. In the workshop was $29.99. Got in the workshop, learned a lot, took all that information, started acting on some of the things that she said inside that course. Okay. Then I started going to a couple of meetups. So I went to a couple of meetups with real estate investors. And I'm going to say this, real estate investors, one more time, real estate investors. So I had to say it 3 times and I'll explain to you guys why. So I went to these meetings. We go to the meetings. Then the meetings, some of the meetings started being $89 to go to the meeting. Good. That's $89. That's nothing. $89, I'm going to learn some information, get more information. Then we decided to take a construction development and course, a rehab course, live in person. We in the houses. We're in the houses with the rehabs. We're in there with the construction teams, the plumbers, the electricians, everything. We're learning about the cost of roofs, the cost of concrete, the cost of shingles, the cost of windows. We're learning all these things. Then, boom, we get all that information, get all that knowledge. I decide I want to make sure that I'm a licensed agent. I'm telling you guys all this story so you can understand. All I did was focus on the fact that I wanted that I was going to have 2 buildings in 2023. So from there, I take the real estate course, get the real estate course because I want to understand what real estate is, what real estate's about. I want to have a better understanding. So I went through the courses, I went through all of that things, found out the information. All right, guys, here's the thing. In June 14th, 2023, I bought those 2 buildings. Now, 2 buildings in the neighborhood in which I grew up in. So not only did I get 2 buildings, I got the 2 buildings in the neighborhood I grew up in. And what? I didn't need to be a multimillionaire. Now, technically speaking, we'll say now with the properties, I'll explain to you guys a little bit about what later on. With all that being said, what I told you guys is I was focused on what was already mine. I took the classes. I didn't even have a building yet. I was just saving money. So I was putting $500 every time I got paid into a savings account. That's what I was doing. I put $500 away. Guys, let me tell you, I didn't even use the money that I put up because there's so many programs out there that help. So what I'm saying is that I aligned myself with what I wanted. And this is about you being clear. When you're clear in what you want and you're empowering yourself to stay focused on what you want, guys, you get what you want. So if right now you are not getting what you want, if you don't have the relationship you want, the house you want, the car you want, the money you want, it's time to make a change. Change to the instructions you're giving yourself, change to the environment in which you're in, and change with the moves you're making. So I'm going to let you guys take a moment to think about that. And we're going to dive in to we're going to dive into some music, some more things of empowerment. Because all I'm going to talk about is us being empowered to be the CEOs of our lives. So we're going to dive in to Vibe with me, featuring Eva Stacks on My Radio Chicago. Support District Radio Network, where this is more than radio. All right, all right, all right. We're back at Wake Up CEO. I'm Rachel L. Gary, and we are on My Radio Chicago, Support District Radio, where we already know it is more than radio. So right now we about to hit Corner, and it's sponsored by Distinguished Authors Guild, where you can get your literary award, guys. Those people who are out there who have award-winning books, now is your time. So get your award-winning books to Distinguished Author Guild on Facebook. For now, you go ahead and get into that group. There's a link that you click to submit your book, and you could be the next award-winning author, because we know your book is a winner. And this is my book of the day. Abundance is Now by Lisa Nichols. And this is a book that's my personal recommendation. And why it's my personal recommendation is because I read this book like 10 times. And it is about empowerment that shifts your mindset and reminds you how to own your success, which is what we're talking about today. And because the internal images that you have is a result of things in your life that you haven't had the opportunity to deal with, have not had the opportunity to refocus, and have not had the opportunity to do what? Be the best CEO of your life. So another part of our book is about shifting the narrative that you're having with yourself. So we want you to stop seeing yourself as not enough and start owning your space. And the second thing was your circle of influence is your reflection. One more time. The people that you surround yourself reflect on you. They reflect as being the people that you surround yourself with are a culmination of the things that you think of yourself. Third thing, you are your own best investment. So that was Lisa Nichols, Abundance Now. Pick up that book. I have been to some of her conferences, and believe me, I have utilized some of these things in my everyday life because it allows me to find success within myself, because there's nothing external of me that brings success. That success is within me and within you. So we're gonna talk a little bit about those songs we were listening to. Guys, did you hear about that God energy? And it wasn't just about the God only in the Bible. It's about the God that is in you. God is in everything and everywhere and in you. So it's about having that energy and aligning yourself with the energy. Is what we've been talking about. Having clarity in the energy for your life, empowering yourself to walk in that clarity towards your dreams, your goals, your desires. And now we're going to just jump into owning. Now it's time to own. We're going to own the direction of how we move forward. So as we talked about previously, you're clear in what you want. We even talked about how to speak to yourself about that clarity. So if you missed it, we're going to recap just a little bit about clarity. When you decide what you want, you're not going to talk to yourself in terms of lack. We're not going to talk to ourselves in terms of if we don't have it. We're talking to ourselves as what? We are owning that we've got it. We're owning that, yes, we have our desire. Yes, we have our dreams. Yes, we've got that money in the bank. Yes, we've got that car that was aligned with our purpose. Remember, you might want a Ferrari, but if you're not aligning yourself with that Ferrari and you're steadily aligning yourself with an old 2000 Honda, the 2000 Honda is what you're going to continually have, because you have to walk towards what you desire. That's what you got to do. We got to walk towards what you desire. And now we're owning it. We're owning our direction, and owning our direction means that we've decided what we want. We know what we need to say to ourselves to get it. And right now, what we're going to say to ourselves to get is that let's go. Let's go. Ownership. Let's go. That's when we're owning it. We're owning it with confidence. Because before we were clear, we were not confident. That's why we were having a life. That's what we left off before we started listening to those inspirational songs. We were left off on where we were talking about, do you have the life that you want? And this is why you have to own the life that you want. If you don't have the mate you want, the car you want, the house you want, the life you want, you have not been clear. You have not empowered yourself to start moving forward. So to change the trajectory of what you have currently, and that's if you don't have what you want. Because if you got what you want, everything that you want, awesome. That means that you are already 10 steps ahead of your old self. Because you can remember when you didn't have and when you made that mind shift. Because it's a mind shift. That's because when you're owning something, you're shifting your whole mindset. Because everything that you see that you want, you know you can have. One more time. Everything that you see that you want, you know you can have. When you know you can have it, you move differently. Think about this. If I am coming, let's say I'm getting dressed, I'm going to the club. I'm going to say I'm going to the club. You're going to the club and you're looking for that perfect mate, that perfect person in your life. When you're looking for that perfect person, you go to the club, you get all dressed. You're feeling confident that I'm going to get that person right there. And then you walk up to that person and you be like, hello. All the preparation just went away because your confidence level was low. Because you didn't feel that you were deserving of that person. Take it. Own that. Because you can't have something you don't think you deserve to have. That's about that clarity piece, guys. That's what when I was telling you, reminding you that you are the person who has your clarity. You are the person who empowers yourself to move forward. So if you walk up to that person and you're like, hello, you just blew your chance. And when you blow your chance, does that mean it's over? You cannot have that person? No. It just means that you have not built up the confidence that is necessary to go out there and get what you want. So that's what we're at the point where we're owning our direction. And owning our direction means that we are now confident that whatever we set our minds to, we got it. If it is in line with your divinity, if it's aligned with the divine purpose on your life. So if you are wishing for someone else's demise to get something you want. Now, I don't mean as in their death. I mean, if let's say that someone is living in the house that you dream and you're like, I want this house. That house is the one. That is my house. That is the house that I see myself in there. I see myself in those chairs. I see myself in there. That means that someone else has to either level up or level out. So if you're wishing for that person to level up, don't you think that positive energy will come back at you? But if you are wishing that that person just levels out of the way so you can get what you want, then that's negative. That's you bringing in negativity. We want to own our direction with positivity. You want to wish that someone has what they want in their lives, which allows you to have what you want in yours. When you started this off by saying that I was listening to somebody saying about a positive message or a positive conversation you have with one person today, that positive energy you put out comes back to you tenfold. So when you're owning your direction, you're owning your thoughts, you're owning your actions, you're owning your purpose, you're owning your everything. But when you're owning it, you're embracing the positive from it. So let's say you wreck your car. Now, I think I told you guys a little bit about that. I was in a car accident in December. So I was in a car accident in December. I was just going to put new tires on my truck. I had went to the dealer, had already picked out the tires I wanted. The tires were $1,100. I was going to get oil change, get my car, get a complete tune up, make sure it was all good for the winter. Because we didn't get, if you're in Chicagoland, we didn't start getting winter temperatures to like the very first week of December. So December 3rd, I had an accident. I was sitting at a stoplight and someone rammed the back of my car. So I get out the car, and the first thing I asked the gentleman is, hey, are you okay? Is everyone in your car okay? Now, I was sitting at a stoplight, and he rear-ended my car. Now, I want to tell you guys what happened to the car. The car gets totaled. My car didn't have a scratch on it before this accident. No scratches, no dents, no nothing. I keep my car pristine, clean inside and out. That's aligned with who I am. One more time. I align everything in my life with who I am. So as I said, if I want positivity, positive things got to be out there. So I want my car clean. I want it to smell good. I want to smell good. I want to be clean. Everything has to be aligned. So when a gentleman hit the car, they totaled it out in 3 days. His insurance company hadn't even gotten back to me. Now, because I pay my insurance and I was a little savvier, I got that gap insurance. So let's tell you what happened. So they totaled my car out. They paid my insurance pays it off. I have gap insurance. The gap insurance pays the remainder. Then from there, I had to pay $800 to get me a new car. So the $1,100 I was going to spend on tires for that old car, I don't have to spend. The tune-up I was going to get on that car, I don't have to get. And with the new car, I paid $800 down. I got brand new tires on the car, and I have a 50,000 mile warranty. The car I had before was 3 years old, so I was already past warranty. So where did I lose at? Where did I lose? There was no loss. So that was a win. Because the second that it happened, I was already positive. Because I was not concerned about my car being totaled. I was concerned about the other individual that was in his car that could have possibly been hurt. That positive energy, guys, comes right back at you. That's me owning my direction. And when you own your direction, you own your emotions. Take that moment. Take that moment. Take that moment. The hardest thing that I hear is owning your emotions. You have to own what you're thinking. Own what you're feeling. Own what you're speaking. Because if you're not taking your time to own all those things, you're allowing something external of you to mess up your selfie. So how we get that perfect selfie is we're clear. Boom. Clearing what's going on. So that's we straighten our shirt up. Empowered, we straighten our hair up. Owning is when we stand up and we make sure that camera is not actually in that selfie if we in the mirror. Just how we set up that selfie of the external us, we got to set up the selfie of the internal us. That's what we've been talking about, the internal you. Because the external you is going to come from the internal things that you talk about, things you feel. Because I've met some beautiful individuals that when they start talking to me, they become the ugliest individuals. You guys, come on now, tell me this is not happening to you guys, that you haven't met somebody who is just fine beyond belief. And then they start talking to you and you're like, you don't even care how fine they are anymore. Because what they were talking about was a garbage conversation. So that lets you know that your external appearance is not what attracts what you want in your life. Sit back and think about that, guys. Because we're always looking at an external appearance first. So You're owning that I want somebody to connect with me on the highest level possible. So if you want them to connect with you on the highest level possible, don't you think you got to be on that level? Come on, ask yourselves that question. Do you need to be on that level to have a higher level conversation? Because if you're not on that level, how do you expect the person that you attract into your circle to be on a higher level? The only way you get someone on a higher level is you on a higher level. Because if I'm on a higher level and you on a lower level, our energy is not going to vibe. Our conversation is not going to vibe. So we want to make sure at the end of the day that we're talking to those positive individuals, those people that allow us to feel that we want to boss up, right? So we're gonna slide into some more positive music called "Face Down, Boss Up" by Tony Jones, and I want you guys to, as I was saying, listen to the words because music has those melodies in it. But sometimes we just bobbing our head to the melody. We're not listening to the words and we're internalizing things that don't serve our purpose. I want you to internalize words, speech, conversations, people that serve the purpose of elevating you so you can elevate them. Be in tune with the person that you want to be, that you need to be to get that higher level that you want to have. All right, wake up. This is Wake Up CEO, and this is Support District Radio, where you know it is more than radio. So, gonna jump into Face Down, Boss Up. All right, all right, all right. We had Face Down Boss Up by Tony Jones. I'm telling you guys, man, that song was epic. I was listening to it when I first saw it. For people who know me, they know when I saw Face Down, I was like, oh, come on. But on the same token, I don't judge. I'm not here to judge other people. And from at the end of the day, this is not about judgment. So I listened to the song all the way out. I said, okay, it has that positive message, that positive vibe that I'm looking for. So I'm always looking for positivity. So if you guys have that positive, clean music, you can send it to wakeupceo@gmail.com. That is wakeupceo@gmail.com. That's that positive music, those positive videos that are under 200 MBS megabytes. So I want you guys to go ahead, send that over, and we'll make sure that we play it on the show, because at the end of the day, we're about supporting each other. It's not my show, it is our show. I'm talking to the CEOs. So the Wake Up CEOs, this happens to be that I am a CEO of my company and as well as a CEO of my life. And before I could be a CEO of any company, I had to be the CEO of my life. So now we're going to jump into this week's leadership 3-point play, powered by Say I'm Possible Academy, where self-leaders get the GPS needed for success. So this is how leaders align with their image and with their influence. So you're going to show up as a CEO before you get the title. That's what we've been discussing. Being clear in your actions, empowered by your choices, and own your directions. That is what a CEO does for a company. And you're at the company of your life. So leadership isn't given. It is a projection of who you are. So start embodying the confidence, the vision, and the discipline today. Don't hold off. If you want something more, be some more, do something more, you have to be in action. So your second tip is your presence is your power. So the way you dress, speak, and carry yourself signals to the world how you expect to be treated. One more time, guys. As we were talking last segment, when we were talking about having the person that you want in your dreams, if you are not clear on how you want to be treated, if you're not empowered that you're going to be treated well, and you're not going to own the fact that when someone is not treating you aligned with the purpose and aligned with the person that you are, that is when you have those situations where you're not getting that person that you want, because your clear boundary has been crossed and you didn't correct. Or from the streets, we used to say, check that person. You got to check that person and let them know, hey, these are my boundaries, and you have stepped over them and around them. Let's refocus and get you back in line to where I want you to be, or where we need to be for us to continue being. That's about being clear. And that was an easy check, because if you projected yourself correctly in the beginning, your boundaries were already known. So if you were flimsy with your boundaries in the beginning, then you'll be flimsy with your boundaries throughout. So leaders don't shrink. They own the room before they even walk in. And that's what we were talking last week, where we were discussing about, do you bring the temperature up 10 degrees or down 10 degrees when you walk into a room? Hey, think about that hard. When you walk in a room, does the conversation shift to talking about other people, or does the conversation shift to how we can empower each other? Think about it. Think about it when you walk in those rooms. And if it's not aligned with the person you want to be, then that means you need to bring that temperature up in you. It's not bringing the temperature up in anyone else. The very first show, I told you guys I reminded you how you show up and explain to someone else how to show up with you. And it's not about being disrespectful. It's about having the courage to stand up for you. I posted a post today on Facebook where I said, without fear, you can't have courage. So accept the positive from the negative situation. You can be afraid, but stepping forward through the fear is where you exude your courage. So you want to make sure you stay lined up. So the third part of the 3-point play is stay aligned with the image you set. Leadership isn't just about an image, it's about your integrity. We talked about that last week, about having the integrity. Flexing, you want to flex that you want something more, you want to do something more, you want to be somebody more. Be committed to that. Be consistent with that. And the change comes automatic. You're not fighting the change. That's what this is about. You're not fighting towards the change. You're not fighting for the change. You're easily, gradually being a better version of you each day, making small changes, and it happens effortlessly. Not easily, but effortless. Because the second that you're telling yourself that, hey, I want to have a better relationship, and I'm going to start with having the best relationship with myself. I'm going to take better care of myself. I'm going to learn something new so I can better my circumstance. And I'm going to show up each time. Did you see how I just shifted what I said? Before I was talking in the fact I was calling that I wanted something. The last statement I made, I called what I wanted into existence. And even though I can't see the comments that are on the StreamYard, I did see a comment from Michael Lewis. He said that's his issue, not standing up. The first thing to stand up for you is to know you are worth it. You are worthy of what you desire. You are worthy of what you want beyond today. If you want something more and you want to be something more, you have to know that you can have whatever you desire. As long as at the end of the day, it's not about bringing negativity to someone else. So if your actions don't match your message, let's readjust and refocus. So what is it in your life that is not aligning with the true you? Whatever that is in your life that's not aligning with the true you, let's start today. Let's get clear on what we're going to do. Let's empower ourselves to start doing it. That's the part, guys. How many times have you wrote down? How many times have you wrote down that, hey, I want to stop paying $200 to $300 a month for this rent, and I want to buy me a house? How many times have you say I deserve a better partner? If you say you deserve a better partner and you want a better house, but as I said, we're aligning. So now we're aligning. We're not talking about what has happened in the past. We're moving forward. So let's step out of the past, and we're not going to relive the past, guys. We're not going to relive it. Hey, last week I was thinking. We're not going to relive that. Because in my conversation today, I've been telling you guys how I move forward. I never told you about what was back there. Because what's back there doesn't matter for what's moving forward. I've checked the past and put the past exactly where it belongs, exactly there in the past. I'm living in the now. That's why today is a present. So if today is a present, I need to treat that present like I want it. One more time. If today's a present, treat the present like you want it. We woke up this morning, and today we're whoever's listening, and I thank everyone who's listening. And I hope I'm imparting that little piece of information. If you take little nuggets from what I'm saying, and remember that you are the one who gives yourself the path. You are the one who's walking that journey, and you are the one who can have, do, and be whatever you want in your life. If you internalize that message and start moving forward each day with some positivity, affirmations. Now, if you guys are looking at this live online, there was a link in here where you get free affirmations. Now and it is a 7-day challenge. That 7-day challenge is free. I hear all the time that people don't take the free and don't take the free seriously. I'm going to tell you, free information is good. Paid information is good. If you don't put any of that to action, it doesn't matter how much you pay for it. It's not going to help what you want in the future. You have to act on what I'm talking about today. You have to get up to, you have to start right now. The present. Open that present. That present is you. Open you up to a better tomorrow. Open you up to the best version of you. Open you up to the positivity that's in the world that you can draw right into you every day. Because the positivity lies in you. That's why I don't call myself, I don't tell people that I am a motivational speaker. I'm an inspirational leader. And inspiration comes from where motivation is internal. Inspiration is external. So I'm having an external conversation right now. And I'm hoping that it touches that internal you that will motivate you to stand up and say that today starts the day that I know that I am worthy of my better tomorrows. I am worthy today for my better version of myself. Because you are a culmination today of all your past experiences. So if you make a change today, let's listen. I want y'all to really, really listen good. If you make a change today, your tomorrow will be better. You make a change tomorrow, Friday will be better. You make a change Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, your Monday is going to be phenomenal. And when things happen that could derail you, because you're going to already call into existence that there's no weapon forged against me that can defeat me. So that means there's nothing, that everything that is for you is coming to you. That's positively and unequivocally a law of nature. So let's say today you are making the change for you. You've unwrapped the present of you. You are now in love with the total package of you. And you are ready to call your tomorrows into existence. I want you guys, the actions plan for today is this. Sit down with you. Not your friend, not your spouse, not your kids, no one else, just you. Grab a pad and write down everything you want. Everything you desire. Write it all down. Sit back and look at that list. Pick the most important thing on that list to you. This isn't about anybody else. That's why this is how to get your perfect selfie. And that's why it's about your selfie. So if you are ready, pick that one item that's the most important to you. And let's start getting clear with that one item. Don't be afraid of what will happen if you start moving forward. Because with fear comes what? Courage. With lack comes abundance. So those words are just two different sides of the same spectrum. Fear and courage is an emotion. Lack and abundance is a thought. So if you want abundance and you want more, you need courage to step over whatever's going to come your way. You're going to have family. You're going to have friends. You're going to have people around you who say you're crazy for what you're doing. Continue anyway. Find that one thing on that long sheet, because when you start writing, you're going to notice you have so many things you want. Don't stop until you're done, till you exhausted every possibility of what you want. Then pick that, look down that list and pick one thing that you are going to move forward on. Not that you think. I didn't say that you think you're going to move forward on. That you're going to move forward on. One thing. For the next 60 days, focus on that one thing. Set up an affirmation on that one thing. So whatever that one thing is, you're going to put it in its place. I have the most beautiful blah, 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 whatever that thing is. I have the biggest boom, 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 whatever that thing is. And any obstacle, there are no obstacles. There is nothing that can stop what is destined and divine for me. You want to put what you want in there, then start moving forward towards it. Still, don't worry about how you're going to make it happen. We're not concerned about how. This is not the how. We're just focused on what we want, that one thing. That's not going to hurt anybody. We're going to think positively about it. So if it's a house, I know you guys have heard this statement millions of times. You have to visualize it. Then you get your vision boards, and then we put all the pictures on it. I want one vision board with that one thing. So if you say that you want a perfect relationship, I don't want you guys to go out there and get that perfect body person, that 10 out of 10 body. I want you to write, if it's a person, if you want the perfect relationship, start with who you are and how you can become the perfect person to attract the perfect person to you. If you want a new house, you're going to take the opportunity of what does a perfect house look like to you? Not the block, the street and all that. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 5 bedrooms, 6 baths, whatever that looks like to you, that perfect place for you. You're giving yourself the instructions to move forward positively towards your goals, your perfect selfie of your perfect life. No one else can live that life or have that life more or better than you. This is your life. This is your time, CEOs. That's why this show is called Wake Up CEO, because I'm not talking to the people who are still asleep. We all use the phrase constantly, I'm woke. But you're still walking through life like it's a daydream. So today, get that sheet of paper out. Write down those. Take the half an hour it's going to take. You got a half an hour. It's 144 minutes in a day. 24 hours, 144 minutes. Sorry, 140. So if we got those 144, we can figure it out. I want us to figure it out. Sorry, look at me in my math. 1440. I forgot to add my zero at the end. My math is excellent, but I forgot that zero. I want to make sure I add all those seconds and minutes in there. I don't want people having discernment because I made a mistake mathematically. I want you to use 30 minutes out of that 1440 of the day. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Write down everything you want. Tomorrow, start moving towards it. Think a thought of positivity. Give yourself an affirmation, a positive affirmation towards it. And when you're affirming that you have it. You're not asking for it. You're affirming that is yours. So you're affirming the perfect relationship, and then you're going to start moving towards it. So you're going to start being that perfect relationship that you want. Because when you say that, hey, I want somebody who thinks of me. I want somebody who cares about my needs. I want someone who wants to talk before and after and during our intimacy. I want intimacy on a new level. When you say you want all those things, are you that for you? So that's what we're going. That's the homework. And at the end of the day, I'm going to ask every CEO out there to take those moments and remember that you are the CEO of your life. You're that one who is clear in your actions, empowered by your choices, and you own your direction. And when you come next week to Wake Up CEO, I want you guys to be dropping in the chat. So go watch me live. I'm live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Watch me live and drop in the comments. Next week, guys, those comments will be working. We're going to work on that. Drop those comments down there that I did the homework. I did the homework for 7 days. If you did the homework, that conversation is going to go, woo. Do you know how positive I feel? Do you know how good I feel that I picked one thing and I'm focused on that one thing? I wanted a better job. So I decided I was going to be a better worker. I decided I wanted a better apartment, or I decided I wanted to move to the lakefront. So I'm going to look at the lakefront. I'm looking at what's going on around me and how I can get to the lakefront. Stop worrying. Don't listen to, don't do the how. You keep moving forward towards the lakefront. If you think that you need $200,000 to get to the lakefront, are you saving one piece? Are you saving $1? Are you saving $500? Move towards your desires. That's the homework for this week. And yes, we have homework. Because if you think that your desires, your dreams, and your CEO life does not take work, that's why you haven't had what you're looking for yet. Because there's work to be put in. Y'all know it. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know already. I'm just reminding you with GPS on how to get what you want. So I want you guys to stay tuned because we got at the top in the next hour where he's going to be talking about financial literacy. We're going to be talking, he's got the financial power hour. I want you guys to stay tuned for that because right now I'm setting you guys up for that financial advice. So even with advice for financial literacy, financial gains, without the mindset, you become broke all over again. So let's work on the mindset that allows us to be the CEOs of our lives. And until next week, I want you guys to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You, CEO. This Rachel out on Wake Up CEO on My Radio Chicago, where it is much more than radio. So we're going to play some music on our way out, but I appreciate everyone for listening.
Early morning, time to rise, no sleep. Radio's humming with the funky beat. Sun is shining, Rachel brings the heat. Wake up CEO, we're on repeat. Chicago, Sun Up City on the go.